So the Traveler and Diluc are weak, and the reason behind this you'll find out in this video. But before starting off this video, I want to say that this video is completely based on my opinion, so no need to give hate or anything like that. And now let's start. So first, if we talk about the Traveler, so the Traveler so far, despite having 3 elements, doesn't have any super powerful abilities so far, except creating a few small wind vortex, small tornado, a few small range geo attacks, an electro cutter which just end up after hitting a single person, electro infused sword, and speed boost by electro. These are all powerful attacks for a human being, but not the same when talking about the powerful beings of Teyvat. By these abilities, we might be able to defeat humans, but defeating Archon or powerful mythical beings with ultra high durability by ourselves is just like suicide. So our elemental power offensive capabilities are pretty average and might be just around as normal as practicing Vision Wielder, which is kinda right since we are just getting hang of these new powers. However, what Traveler have is their experience of fighting since eons of years, since it's said that Travelers are older than stars. That's why in all cutscenes, even when all others are blasting and using all sorts of elemental power combo, Traveler just try to fight with a sword, with which he is already expert since thousands of years. We only use elemental power when out of options. If you have noticed, we are also quite lucky in our fights. Most of the fights Traveler had were not at all indicative of how powerful we are. So first, against Devalin, we weren't chosen because we were powerful, but rather because we had capabilities to get rid of his Abyss Pimple. Also, we were supported in that fight by Diluc. I will come at you later, Diluc. Jean and an Archon known as Venti. And that is also when Devalin was weakened by poison. I don't think we can still solo Devalin by ourselves lore-wise. Next is fight against Child in his final form was rather a war of attrition by just holding out till he himself got exhausted. But still that was a fair battle. Against Ozail, we were just powered by other adepti. Against Scaramouche, Mona judged that even with her our side was weak, so we escaped. Weakened Azdaha fight was mostly between Zhongli and him. He doesn't even acknowledge the Traveler, and that's after we were being buffed by his other personality, or should I say other half. Against Abyss Herald, we fought him thrice. Once he escaped after recognizing us as a sibling of Abyssal Twin. Second time we teamed up with Razor and he fought both but escaped after ceremony failed and Andreas was free to making 3 versus 1, so odds being against him in final fight. And the third time it was Denslev who was helping us lore-wise. Not saying that we can't defeat him by ourselves, but still. So against E, we couldn't do anything ourselves and was just used by a play toy to play with since she got bored inside. Traveler was also buffed by power of 100 vision, which helped us finally. Against Beshit, the Ozail wife was already wounded by a lot of attacks of cheap version of Guizhong, Belastius and Ningguang, and then still in that wounded form there was Shenhe with us, who showed a far powerful elemental power than us, but Beshit still managed to escape. However, against Signora, we won fair and square though. Well, that's all. Once again, I would like to say it what Traveler has strongest in combat is his eons of combat experience. Traveler is something like a pro Dark Souls player who might be weaker than bosses but still beat them. Traveler doesn't have a godly endurance, but he is just get good and dodge. That's why when ground against E was leveled by external power, we defeated a martial goddess in a martial battle by overpowering her skills. Other character I think who is highly overrated is Diluc. He is strong character but not some ultra powerful one. He is just a Batman with a bit of fire. He doesn't have any superhuman strength. His punches and attacks still hit like a powerful human, but that's it. It's not like Child. A few might bring the topic of him destroying various Fatui strongholds, but there's no mention of him ever doing it in a frontal battle. He is a resourceful wise guy and there are various methods by which he could have done that. For example, poisoning their supplies, attacking them when they are least alert, burning, assassinating them one by one, etc. There are thousands of destroying strongholds without attacking like a wild idiot, especially when he doesn't want his cover to be blown and he's quite intelligent. Now, I'm not trying to discredit him at all, but once again, I am respecting when people treat Batman like Batman and doesn't start declaring him as powerful as several harbingers together without anything good enough to back it. Are you trying to tell me that guy who is just fighting like Batman win against hilly trolls and just punching them like normal human is suddenly gonna become Super Saiyan when he sees a Harbinger? It's funny, no doubt. His feats are impressive, but just don't try to make him so overblown that it stings. But well, it's just what I think, and that's all for today. I would like to hear others' opinions about this. Positive, negative, any kind of review is welcome. Also, if you feel same about any other character, you can tell me in the comment section. And now, thanks for watching.